Hi guys, and welcome back to class. Today we are going to be distilling character's state of mind. When you distill something, you find the essential meaning. So I want you to review your annotations from how you annotated for Paul's state of mind during his last days on leave for homework yesterday. I want you to understand that when you examine depictions of soldiers in two different genres, such as painting and fiction, and you analyze how to use the specific elements, you understand how people feel about war and how it affected them. So, add these words to your vocabulary journal. You have geometric and organic. Geometric, enclosed from featuring precise lines, clear edges, and shapes from geometry. For example, a square, a triangle, or a cylinder. Organic is an irregular flow or free form with less defined edges and associated with shapes from the natural world, like plants or animals. So if you find a geometric shape in a painting, it may be a square, triangle, or cylinder. If you find an organic shape in a painting, you might actually be able to make out an object, such as a plant or an animal. What is significant about the use of shape in the painting of soldiers? So remember, this is the painting. What type of organic or geometric shapes do you see? An art movement of the early 20th century in which Pablo Picasso or Georges Braque and other painters painted scenes of figures with belief that art did not need to imitate nature. Cubists represented objects and figures using abstract geometric shapes and fragmented forms. Liger also served in World War I, the person who drew this painting. He was on the front lines and was badly gassed at Verdun. He painted soldiers playing cards while he was in the hospital. So now, knowing what you know, what kinds of objects and shapes do you see? Based on your reading so far, what are some of the effects of this type of warfare on soldiers? Warfare of World War I had devastating effects, and it caused widespread injuries, death, and it caused soldiers like Paul to act like animals or killing machines. So now I want you guys to read page 75. And I want you to find the word that has the most negative effect on you as a reader. So what attitudes towards warfare and its effects do the depictions of the soldiers and the paintings suggest? So here, when I look at this painting, I can kind of make out some figures, and we know that these are soldiers and they're playing cards. So one thing that I can say is that there's comradeship or camaraderie. I can see that there's friendship and that they have to stick close together and enjoy the times that they have from the painting. Then I want you to recount the major incidences in the reading of Paul's emotional responses. Reread pages 172 through 173 and tell me what major incidents gave Paul an emotional response. Then look at that same section. How is the word speak used in the passage? The word dejected, it means in low spirits or depressed or discouraged. Add this to your vocabulary journal. How does the use of personification develop the passage and reveal the effects of war on Paul? How would you compare the relationship between the constructed human objects in the painting and the relationship between the human objects in the passage? Artists and novelists use techniques like geometric shapes and personification to give concrete information and abstract ideas. So let's look at this word agony. This means to be in a very long and extreme pain that is either physical or mental. What effect does this type of transformation, one that changes something familiar into something unfamiliar, have on a reader or viewer? And how does the textual analysis that you've been doing build your understanding of text attitudes towards war and its effects? Now I want you to reread the last two paragraphs of Chapter 7. And I want you to write a 4 to 5 sentence paragraph that analyzes the significance of transformations depicted in the passage. First, explain the transformation that is depicted, who and what has been transformed into who. Then apply your understanding from our discussion, and concluded by explaining the importance of the last line of the chapter. What has been revealed to Paul that makes him state, I ought never to have come on leave. Why would he say this? To end our lesson in our reveal stage of our content framing, what does a deeper exploration of the two text depictions of soldiers reveal? And based on your learning today, how would you describe each text attitude towards the way war transformed humans? For homework, continue your fluency. Now on to our deep dives. Look at this sentence. She closed her office door to prevent any intrusions that might interrupt their conversation. Now I want you guys to practice making some sentences that are similar, such as, my sister's intrusions made it hard to study in my room. Or, the military's intrusions violated the treaty signed by the neighboring countries. Based off of what you see here, how would you define the word intrusion? Inside this word, you'll see truge, or this, truge. Truge or trudge, it means to push or thrust. Now I want you, how does the root of the word intrusion or truge help us understand the definition of the word intrusion? And knowing that, what would you predict the meaning of the word protrude means? You can find these words on the last paragraph on page 28. How is the meaning of the word trude apparent in the meaning of protrude? Reread the second to last paragraph on 179. Work individually and try to define the word intrude and then verify if you wrote it correctly. To finish this lesson, on page 28, it says, what does the use of protrude reveal about Kimbrich's health? On page 179, how does the use of intrude illustrate Paul and his mother's feelings about his time at home? All right, that's going to be it for today's lesson. I'll see you guys soon. Again, if you need any help, I'll be in office hours. Bye.